Con. So let's go to some more scriptures. I'm so sick and tired of people also saying one thing. Well, if you don't vote, you don't have a say so. You don't have a right. Says who? Says who? Didn't it come out that there was some type of collusion of some sort? Wasn't there a difference between a popular vote and the college? I forget the name of it. The popular vote and the college electoral vote. Probably mispronouncing it. Either way. All right. So, what faith do I have in this system that has been exposed? That has been exposed by people in other countries, great, mighty countries at that. You know, whenever they say things like Russia interfered, things like that, are you kidding me? That's a superpower. We were at actual war and in a Cold War with them as well. All right? And listen, they're a superpower. So any news and confirmation which they had, now I definitely know, when I already knew by faith, believing in the scriptures, that this system that they have here, so-called democratic, first of all, we know it doesn't work. All right, you're supposed to have a fair, partial judge. All right, and according to the Constitution, but it wasn't written for the so-called brown man in mind. It wasn't written. It was written for these people that were here, and you see the descendants of them walking around today. All right, literally, 'tis the season, acting like nothing's gonna happen, and they don't realize that their sins are gonna be heaped upon them. All right, easy. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 6. Oh, Salaki, I was there. All right, it says, and said, O Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, power of our Father, art thou power in heaven, and rulest not over all the kingdoms of the heathen? And in thine hand is there not power and might, so that none is able to withstand thee? All right. And I like verse 7. Art not thou our power, who didst drive out the inhabitants of this land before thy people Israel, and gave it to the seed of Abraham, thy friend forever? All right. So that's another example, another scripture, praise be to the Most High, all right, that shows that this is the proper way of governing and ruling, all right? This is the way that we look forward to. For one, we embody, remember, all of the symptoms of Holocaust survivors, Holocaust victims, okay? Over 70 or 80 million so-called Native American, Latino people. They were involved, raped, robbed, and murdered, displaced, taken out of their countries. And now that they're seeking refuge because of the mess economically that America has caused for these people, now they're seeking refuge, leaving all of South America, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, trying to come up this way, and they're met with force, violence, and enmity. Yeah, we want something different. We don't trust you anymore. All right, the heathen is to be ruled over in this scripture. All right, I love that part. Okay, let's get some more. The heathen is to be ruled over. All right, and how is that going to happen? Well, because the heathen definitely likes to, paraphrasing the heathen imagine a vain thing. They imagine themselves sitting way up top, ruling and rolling. Technology, 5G being the system that's going to take down, or whatever it is, Space Force. Then they sign an executive order of a Space Force to go be ready just in case. All right, and see, that was something in the 80s that Reagan was talking about with Star Wars, is what he called it. I'm not sure if it's been renamed or it's the same old thing. Either way, it's some trash. All right, but this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 22, because that the Most High is set to rule over the heathen, right? Well, now tell me. Not tell me, I'll tell you. All right, that's not it. That's not it. Yeah. Okay. Let's do Revelation chapter 2, verse 27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. All right. And the precept to back that up, Old Testament, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1, and through that whole chapter. That's a cold-blooded chapter. All right. That the other nations will be broken into what does it say? Salakia. And it says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That doesn't sound like any type of let's work it out. It doesn't sound like the Lord is worried about nothing called toxic masculinity. It doesn't sound like he's worried about upsetting people. It doesn't sound like when he shows his identity and who he is with the angels, and the fact that he's of color, right? What the world would call a so-called black man. It doesn't sound like he's going to apologize for that and be like, some of y'all might be worried or whatever. He will rule, and all the naysayers and the people who look down on his people, whenever you look at us, all right, understand, his elect, hopeful elect, we're trying to keep it as perfect as we can, all right? So just like Isaiah chapter 14, Revelation chapter 2, verse 27 speaks about how the Most High is going to rule. And how he's going to have to, because all this, we work. All our paychecks go to taxes, goes to federal, goes to state. We're thinking, well, you know what? We're paying for someone's welfare. We're paying for $10 billion to be sent over to Israel. What does that have to do with, what is my family eating, surviving, have better education, health care, stop being murdered and mowed down, stop being judged, you know what I mean? Stop being disenfranchised by people who have X amount of privilege. All right, this is the day of reckoning that we're looking for. All right, with the world who ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, all right, whose features are described as of a black man, and he comes and he sets the record right. All right. Oh, what a wonderful time. You tell it to our people and they can't get it. They don't like it. You know why? Habakkuk chapter 2. That's a good segue. Habakkuk chapter 2. Our people don't get it, all right, because of a simple term. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of reasons. The Most High speaks about it in the scriptures, but also speaking of something called Stockholm Syndrome. All right, a lot of you brothers are familiar with that Stockholm Syndrome. I believe there was something happened in Stockholm, Sweden, where there was like a robbery or some type of hostage situation, and evidently the story is that one of the captors, or several of them, that it didn't take them more than, I don't know, 20-30 minutes or whatever to get these hostages on the hostage, on what's it called, the terrorists or the attackers' side. All right, so they already, boom, they turned these people. So that's what America's done, literally attacked us, you know, tried to attack us on every mentally, you know, giving us tests in school that there were substantive and they were biased. They had nothing to do with our experience, but we were judged. All right, and then we weren't given work based on not passing those tests. And in certain cities, they ended up cutting education and funding. How am I supposed to feel when in one country this prime minister is being indicted, in our country articles of impeachment were filed? You know what I mean? How am I supposed to, what trust am I supposed to put? The trust is in the Most High, who the world ignorantly called Jesus. That's not his name. All right, he only died for the people on this sign, the Israelites, the so-called African Americans, the Latinos, the Native American, the people that have truly suffered and actually embody the prophecies of hundreds of years of oppression by countless nations upon the earth, nationalities upon the earth. All right. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 15. It says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken. Also thou mayest look on their nakedness. So this place literally gives you all the tools to hang yourself. All right. Totally disenfranchises you, makes you feel like you're not a part. First of all, their job was to make you feel that you were less than, you were an animal. You weren't a person. All right. Times had went on after Jim Crow, redlining, all these institutional racist acts and behaviors that totally affected where a person lived, where they went to school, what activities they were allowed to partake of as a kid, growing up. All right. Hospitals, healthcare, things that probably could have been fixed as a kid, maybe to give them a career. Those things were completely stripped from them. All right. So the things that we have taken to get ourselves out by any means necessary, just like Malcolm, what he said, end up making a fool of ourselves, because these are the same poisons and dogma and the holidays are good, and no mustache, no beard, clean shaven, don't obey the Bible, and eat whatever you want. Come to this. Listen, there's so many sacrifices and things that you have to, and then once you make them for this place, for these people who don't give a damn about you, they'll sit there and laugh at you. Straight up. I worked this job, and I swore, first of all, I was the only Jake at the job, and I had worked the job, and one of the managers, like a district, he had like a crazy limp. I think one leg, one leg was shorter than the other, right? And he'd come around. But he was a dick. He wasn't cool. He was a straight dick. And I remember one morning, so I'm at the job, he came up to me and he was like, hey, we're thinking about doing a commercial and having you in the commercial. We think it'd be amazing. And I'm sitting there like, for real? And I'm thinking like, they're like, yeah, we want you to read something. We have something prepared and read something. So I was like, all right, this is cool. I'm here practicing my chops, while working, seeing if I got, like, man, I got it. All right, well, yeah, I'm flattered. Y'all don't choose me. So make a long story short, homeboy. So an hour later, actually, I came up to him about an hour later, and I was like, all right, so what's this script you talking about? Let me see it. I mean, is it something that I'm going to need help with? Do I need a little actress? Whatever. Dude straight up told me, he said, look, I looked on the internet, right? I seen this clip or wherever it was, and it was this black dude who was at the drive-thru, and he's giving the order. He's not giving the order, he's taking the order, all right? And every time he's just cooning. Just buffoonery, cooning real bad. And he's like, oh, okay, you want that breakfast burrito? All right. Oh, man, that's amazing. What else you want with that? Heck yeah, now you're talking my language. I'm hungry. Just cooning. And this is what this dude wanted me to sound like. Now, I told him, I was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool with all that. And I really want to be like, shame on you. Shame on you, you gimp leg dog. You know what I'm saying? But I ended up flipping out on them anyway. It was a Jake too, try to play me. They always get another Jake to do their dirty work. Alright? But, hey, Stockholm Syndrome, how we see ourselves, how we leech on to other people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do what they do to become. Man, I was at a wedding one time, and this Jake, man, he was, you know, walking around. We was like one of the only Jakes there. All right. And the brother walked up. I could hear him. He walked up to everybody. He was like, "Hey, man, I'm so and so. I'm a lawyer. I'm so and so. I'm a lawyer." Yeah, I could hear it. And he would always have to say his profession. Right? Well, that's what he thought. He had to say his profession when he was meeting people. Like, we don't give a damn about what you do. You only doing that to impress. He was with a bunch of Elamites and some, you know what I mean, some heathens, some pagans, right? And he found his little niche. And that's cool. He was proud, but he wasn't accepted. He knew he wasn't going to be accepted unless he come out and give them something that they're used to make them, to kind of diffuse the brother wouldn't be so black. All right? Too much of that Stockholm Syndrome. Habakkuk 2:15 says they look upon us and then they laugh. I bet you they sat back and said the same thing. Man, that black guy, he kept on saying that, I'm a lawyer. And laughing upon our nakedness. We butt naked out in the streets. You know what I mean? Yeah, we waiting for Yahweh Shem Yahushua to come back and rule. All right, take these clowns off of their office, their rulership, their reign, the King and the Prince Andrews, the not Netanyahus, the Trumps, all them. They need to galang. All right, and for the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the King of Israel and the whole earth. All right.